Hi, good afternoon, Eugene from F-Star Observatory. Guys, not one single mention by any climatologist about interglacial and glacial periods. I don't think the message, even between us and our community, is hitting the spot. I don't think people quite clearly see what is being presented before them. This is a mass die-off event for human beings. Do you understand that? The reason why I was asking you about whether you could produce your own solar panels yesterday in yesterday's video is because what I want to try and show you is that your system that you're part of right now, your city that you're part of right now, is going to end. 7.5 billion people will not be here in the next glacial period, and we are 6,000 years into that already. Your technology will shut down the minute the power lines that feed your city electricity, and when that happens, there will be no jobs for you to go to. There will be no more iPhones being made. The logistics globally will shut down. Why do people think this is not going to happen in the southern hemisphere of our planet? It is the planet that is moving away from the sun. This is part of the Milankovitch cycle. This has happened, as you can see in front of you, time and time again. What more evidence do you need to understand that this is a catastrophe yet to happen, and no one will even mention it in the mainstream media about glacial and interglacial times that the Earth has gone through? They won't even mention that. They won't even mention how close we are to now going back into one. What is the world waiting for? You know, it isn't going to happen overnight, but we will gradually start to see the changes. We may well, for the last 14 months, have already started to see the changes. 2 million square kilometres of ice rebounded over the Arctic Circle. I want to show you it. I'll just draw your attention to the red line, as you can see down there in the lower chart. It represents what has happened already in the beginning of this year. We're now in February, on the 10th. So we're not even, well, we are a third into February. Look at where the red line is. We soon will go over the average line from 1972 to 2021. Check out what has happened since 2012 with regards to all of the ice that has been measured over the Arctic Circle. This is not a joke, guys. You know, this isn't a fabrication of the facts. This is the facts. What this chart shows you, and should slap you hard in the face, is clearly there is no global warming. And even if there was, it has stopped a long time ago. We have over 2 million square kilometres of ice that has rebounded in the Arctic Circle since the beginning of 2021. All we need to do is continue watching this space, because the ice is going to rebound and rebound, and you're going to start experiencing prolonged winters on this planet, and eventually it will lead to shutting down the power that supplies your city, and when that happens, the game really gets started. I don't think I'm doing a very good job at getting the message across to people, because what we are looking at is a mass die-off. This is an extinction level event almost on our horizon. And I'm watching the news. I can see lots of support for truckers in Canada, and I understand that. You know, freedoms are utmost important. You know, I'm an advocate of freedoms. You know what I'm doing with my MPs, you know, right now, engaged in trying to put some form of regulations on these internet companies that are getting away with blue murder, and have done since the beginning of the internet started. You know, if you can raise £10 million for truckers' freedoms, what about global inhabitants? I don't know how the Canadian president has managed to get away with calling these protesters in the first place thieves. He's accused them of stealing food off the homeless. Can you believe this? How low could you go? He's accused them of waving Confederate flags. Why would a Canadian wave a Confederate flag? Why would he think that these groups of people are Nazis because they're waving Nazi flags? Is he that stupid? Doesn't he realise that his people are calling him a Nazi? He went into the GoFundMe account and he stole $10 million that was raised for that. You know, we struggle on a daily basis to raise an orange and an apple here at this observatory, and we're talking about a mass die-off globally. I just don't understand. People just don't seem... I really struggle sometimes working with the public because, you know, I can't point it out any more clearer to people. You know, I've showed you how the changes have been changing. We've been in the business of geomagnetics for 10 years. For the last 4.5 years, we have had an active observatory dedicated to the magnetic poles reversing on our planet. We know how they are affecting our climate by modifying the jet streams. I have showed people as it has started to happen. I said, look, we should have a jet stream at 30 degrees. We should have another jet stream at 60 degrees. A polar and a subtropical, both over the northern and southern hemispheres. I have showed people clearly how these jet streams have changed, and recently, within the last week, I've pointed it out quite correctly to all of you guys that our jet streams now are behaving in another unnormal manner, that we are now seeing interchange between the two subtropical jet streams over the equatorial region. So the north subtropical jet stream is interacting with the south subtropical jet stream, and they are going straight across the equatorial region, and this is not normal. It is miles away from normality. This is becoming a more frequent effect, and we are going to start to see the repercussions of that. Nothing has been done. Governments and public as well have all put their eggs in the wrong baskets. There is stuff that we can do together to lessen the blow and of the impacts of the impending anomalies that we are going to see. Some simple things that we can all do. Now, I just don't know. I mean, I read the comment section earlier on in the video, and people are too interested in watching cat memes on Facebook whilst their world is changing no longer slowly and gradually before their eyes, but rapidly. Yes, more arable land is going offline, and that means there will be less food produced. That means your food prices naturally are going to rise, just like any commodity that is in demand. That will happen. You know, your energy bills are going to come in now thick and fast, and they're going to be increasing as well. There are things we can do, all of us, and we've got a good platform here to start with in sharing the information on how we better ourselves prepare for this onslaught which is about to happen. Don't worry about nuclear wars, because I'm sure it's a distraction. COVID-19 is, for almost all of us here in the UK, and shortly will be for anyone around the world, over and done with. But what they have learned from it, these governments, is that they can lock us all in our homes. We have seen the governments let down people in the not too distant history of our planet. I'll just mention how much help was actually given to the people of the Katrina incident, when them floods washed through that town. Lots of things we could be doing, but we struggle on a daily basis to raise an orange and an apple for this observatory, whilst, you know, £10 million is raised pretty much in a week for truckers' freedoms in Canada. I ask you, what is more important? What is more important? Guys, there's a link down there in the description if you want to help support something I feel which is more worthy of a cause than just a couple of truckers in Canada having a hard time about getting over the border. You know what? There's going to be another problem Canada's going to face pretty soon. And these more northerly latitude countries are going to be the ones that we see get knocked off first. Those and the poorest countries in the world, I could point fingers left, right and centre, one after the other. It's already started. It's just a matter of time before it's at your front door. Guys, link down there in the description if you want to help support us. Let's get serious. Let's do something for all of us. As always, bye for now.